Hello, today I'm going to show you how to do signals with Godot game engine, and the reason for that is when I was starting out it was difficult to understand custom signals and general signals in Godot, especially with C sharp. So first I'm going to develop it with gdscript, and then I'm going to develop the same thing in C sharp, and with that you'll get an idea about how to build your own signals for your game. Alright, so first of all I'm going to create a new folder in this directory. So I'm going to select this folder and I'm going to call it p, let's say 040 signals. Okay, and then we'll create a folder here because it's not empty, and then I'm going to create and edit. Okay, so this is a blank Godot project. Okay, so let's see. So first we'll have two scenes, main scene and receiver scene. Okay, and we'll call it main. Let's do a 2D scene. Okay, and then the new scene will be a receiver scene. We will have a custom signal, so we need singletons. So I'm just going to follow good procedure. So we'll have it in a folder called singletons. We'll add a script, so it will be signal manager .gd. Okay, so let's see. So let's add a script to this straight away, and let's add a script to our receiver, all GD scripts. Okay, then what we want to do is we want to have a button and a label, so that when we press the button it will send a signal to the receiver. So this, let's call this from main, this button. Then let's add labels. Okay, and we can call this label, so this label will describe when we get a signal from the receiver. So we'll call this, and let's have a count. So signal count from receiver. Okay, and then let's copy this. So I cannot spell signal. Okay, so when the receiver clicks the button we'll get a signal, and then this count will increment. And in the receiver similarly we will have label, and we will have a couple of buttons. Okay. So let's do a second label, and let's call this label signal from main, and this will be blank for now, and let's put both of them somewhere here. Okay, and then we'll have a button that will say from receiver. Okay, from main. Okay, then we instantiate this child. So okay, so we have everything here. Now we can start adding to the script. So the first thing that we need is to have two signals. So let's create the first signal, that will be from main, and the other signal will be from receiver, and it's going to send out a integer value. So yeah, godot has only int. Okay, so we have this. Now in receiver, we don't need the float. So when the receiver gets a signal from the main, so we need a signal. Oh, we did not auto it. Okay, wait. So this one. So to make the signal manager accessible to the rest of the project as a global script, we need to add it to this autoload. So project settings autoload, and then we add it here, make sure to enable, and we close it. So now signal manager is going to be available to the rest of the project. Okay, so signal, we have, there we go. So signal manager dot from main dot connect. So we need to connect it to a function. Let's call this function func signal from main. And here what we'll do is, here we will update the label. So this label will get updated saying that signal received from main. So we need to connect this to this function. So this signal manager from main, so this is coming from here. So the whole project has registered that a signal can come from main. It will be called from main, and in receiver, when that signal comes, it will get connected to this function. That's what this whole structure is doing. Okay, so let's check one thing just to make sure that it fits in our 2D scene. Yep, it doesn't fit in our 2D scene, so let's move them back, and probably we can just align it. I'm not doing the styling in this video, you can look at that later, so it will just be blank for now. Okay, let's go to script, and we want to go to the receiver script. Okay, now so this is a custom signal. Okay, and I believe now to connect this signal, but the signal from main is not being emitted by anything right now. So let's connect it to this button. So if you go to this button and node and pressed, if we connect it here, then on press we can send out a signal. So signal manager dot from main dot emit. Now, so the beauty of this is that this method is that the whole project is aware of this signal which is from main being clicked. If this is right now a button, but it could be any other event in the game. Okay, so if we do this, let's select the main. So if we select this main, we get this signal received from main. So now let me show you another type of signal, which is sort of, can say, within the component itself. So within this node receiver, suppose we add a timer, and let's put the wait time to, let's say, 2 seconds. Okay, so let's connect it to the code. So let's say now we want, as soon as the timer gets timed out, then it will release a signal and it will erase this text. Okay, so we can do a node and timeout. We can do timer dot start. So because it's timed out, we have to restart it, and label 2.text will be blank. Okay, so what this is going to do is, it's going to start the timer, It's going to start the timer as soon as it receives a signal from main, and after 2 seconds have elapsed, it's going to clear out the label. Okay, so let's see that in action. Okay, signal received from main and then timeout. Receive from main and timeout. Okay, so this is working fine. Now let's send out a signal when the button from the receiver is pressed. Okay, so when we do a button pressed, we can say that signal manager dot from receiver dot emit, and but see here, so we want to actually emit a value here from the receiver, and the main has to get it. So main should be able to get that value, and what we want to do is, if we keep pressing the button from receiver, main should know how many times you have pressed the button. Okay, so let's make a global variable count is equal to 0, and then when you press the button, first of all we increase the count, then we emit the signal. Now we are going to emit this signal with the value count. Okay, so now we can go to main.gd. Here we have to receive the signal. So signal is received in ready function. So signal manager dot from receiver dot connect. Let's call this function signal from receiver, and because it's going to have a value which is a type int, we give it this type. Okay, so this will connect here, and what we want to do is we want to update the label 2 to show the count. So label 2 dot text is equal to, a count is an integer, so we convert it to a string, and we don't need a process here. Why? Okay, so this will be that. Okay, now what else do we need here? We actually, I think we are done here. This is this is right now we are in main.gd. Okay, it's a glitch in the it's a bug in the text editor. Anyway, okay, so we are in main.gd. We get the signal from the receiver, and we have set up this node so that as soon as it gets this signal from the receiver, it runs this function and it is able to receive this value. Okay, so let's see. So from main, signal received from main, and it goes out, and there we go. From the receiver, when we click, we can increment the count here. Let me click again. Okay, one more time and last time. Alright, so that's the signals, custom signals from gdscript. Next we'll do it with C#. Okay, so to write code with C# we need to use godot or godot mono. So I'm going to use that, and we need to create a new project. Let's select our folder. Let's call it godot projects, godot 3D projects. Let's call it godot CS, and we'll select this current folder, and we'll call it 041 CS C# signals. We create the folder, and we will create an edit. Okay. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to use VS Code. So I'll go to editor settings, editors, no, external, switch on, use external. Now this is the path to my VS Code. So it's going to C drive, user, username, app data, local programs, and then Microsoft VS Code, code.exe. Okay, you need to do that. And in terms of debugger, project manager, okay, yeah, host, okay, I think, remember the remote port is going to be 6006 for debugging. And what else? Yeah, I think, yeah, port 6010 file server. Okay, alright, so let's close this for now. Let's create our two scenes and the singleton. So we'll create the first scene as a main, then we will create the second scene as a receiver scene, and we also need a folder for our singletons, where we will have our signal manager. So now instead of gdscript, I'm going to select C# and inherits node, new script path. We are going to call this signal manager. Okay, and we are going to set up the autoload, project settings, autoload, singleton, signal manager, pretty much the same. Make sure to have add here, pretty much the same as a gdscript overall setup. Only the script is going to be C#. So we are going to add C# here to the main. Okay, and then this is my C# script here. And for the receiver also, let me add the script straight away, receiver.cs create. Okay, now while I'm in receiver, let's add the button and the labels, and then duplicate the label. So receiver we'll just put on the right hand side. So make this bigger for you. Okay, so let's put everything on the right hand side here, something like this should be good. Button will be from receiver, and the label can be signal from main. And what we'll do, we'll follow the same thing. That will be when we get the signal from main, it will show up for a couple of seconds here under the receiver. So let's call this blank for now. I think this time this much space should be enough. And then in main we want to do the same thing. So let's add a button, and then we'll add a label. Okay, button will be from main, and then bring the label down. Label 2 can be something like this, and then do a count here. So when the receiver presses their button, then it will increment the count in main, and this can just be 0 for now. You can adjust it later. Okay, so let's start. So right now the scene is going to look, oh, we have to instantiate the receiver scene. Okay, so now we have everything that we need. If we build this, yeah, there's a slight runtime issue. Select the main, and then so this is what we have right now. So when we click the buttons, nothing will happen, but when we click receiver, count will increase here. When we press main, a message will appear and then it will time out. Okay, so we'll look at this variety of signal systems. Right, let's see. Receiver main. Oh, we don't have our signal manager here yet. So let's bring our signal manager. So our signal manager, here what we will do is, we don't need ready. So what we need is, we declare signals like so in C#, and then it's actually called a delegate. So we'll declare the first signal as delegate void from main. There is a bit of a type safety when we work with C#, so it needs to have semicolons and all that. So signal and then delegate void and from receiver. This is going to have int, so let's call that int count. Oh, sorry, int count. Okay. And what else? I don't think I need to have a initializer or anything of that sort in the signal manager. Now when we go to main, so first of all in main, let's connect the button from the signal manager from the receiver. Okay, so first of all we have to declare the signal manager class, signal manager, and then we will do a public void receive signal from receiver. It will have word count, and we can also do an int count here, so that will, oh actually we don't want to do this count here, so it should directly write the label. Another thing, so let's connect this signal now. So signal manager is equal to get node signal manager, which is our class, signal manager, and this is at the root. It is not the root, it is the root signal manager. Yeah, so why is this root? Let's look at that pretty quickly. Okay, we'll look at this. We'll look at this as soon as I finish connecting it. Okay, then we will do signal manager dot signal from, what was it, receiver, from receiver. Okay, so from receiver dot connect plus is equal to receive signal from there. Okay, so this should now print gd dot print signal received. I'm just going to do the same structure, write the same code in receiver. So let's say we declare our signal manager, and then signal manager is actually equal to the get node. Node is signal manager. What else? And this is from the path root signal manager. Okay. And then when the signal manager will be connected to signal manager dot from main will connect to our function here, which will be receive signal from main. Note we don't need to close this, so let's write this function public. Actually we don't need to override this, and now in this case it doesn't receive anything, it doesn't receive a value. We will just do a gd.print signal received from main, and here we can do a signal received from receiver. Okay. One thing is that I think we need to prefix our signal, whatever the name of the signal is, with event handler, like so. So we did this signal, this is the name of the signal. Actually, let's look at this one. This is the so this is the name of the signal from receiver. Okay, and so from main. So from main is actually from main here, but we prefix that with event handler, and we have to do that for all the signals. So that's the quirk in godot. Okay, so let's just check what's happening. And in main I just want to print out this count. So we can do that by saying count dot toString. What was it? I don't remember. What was it? toString. Somehow the debugging functions are not working very well. Select language mode. I wish the debugger worked a little bit better. In case, let's just try it out quickly. Build it. Oh, it didn't build. From main can appear only on the left hand side of plus is equal to or that. So I don't think this is auto loaded. Did it auto load? Was it setting auto load? Yeah, it has auto loaded. Let's close this. Oh, we don't need the connect, so we don't need dot connect here. This plus is equal to is actually connecting this delegate to the function. Okay, so let's see gdcs, which is right here, and then we build it. Oh no, int does not contain a definition for toString. Oh, because I guess this is C#, so it should all be capitals, I guess. Where did it go? Oh, toString. It's just going to be a capital here. Build. Okay, let's run this now. Okay, so from receiver, and nothing happens. No, nothing is happening. I wonder why. And the reason is we haven't hooked up the buttons to the code. So how do we hook up the button to the signal? It's the same way we did it before. Button pressed, button pressed, connect. I don't think it's going to update VS Code. Yep, it did not do that. So let's do a I think it's just void on button pressed. Signal manager dot emit signal, and then name of the signal is, now because it is a static method, we just call the class directly here, signal manager dot from name. Okay, we have to do the same thing for receiver. Just build it quickly. Yep. Now here again, button pressed, connect on button pressed. I'm just copying this receiver method here, and then connected. Yeah, that's right. So here we do a public void on button pressed, and then signal manager dot emit signal, and this will be the name of the signal, which is, because it is a static call, it will be capital signal. It's not an instance, it is this class directly, please remember. And then this is from receiver, and I think the value is given this way. So let's make our int count 0. The one thing I love about C# is that you can do plus. So we do a count. So name of this and then the count. Okay, and close it with a semicolon. Actually, let me just full screen. Yeah. Okay, I think this is readable. Alright. So let's go to Godot now. Then build this and run this. Let's see. From main. Yes. Signal received from main. So now it's working. From receiver, signal receiver, yes, and then we got a +1. So now we just have to connect it to this label and add the text there. Okay, so how do we do that? We do that by copying the node path, and we will go to our code, which is here. So I think I was in receiver. Yeah, I was in receiver. Okay, so connecting a node in C# is not exactly the same. It's not as convenient as with gdscript. So we have the label. I don't know if we have to put a path there. Okay, let's see. Now label will be equal to get node. This node is a label node, and this here is going to be the path. So I think we have to do a label 2. So this is the type, this is the instance. We initialize the instance in the constructor, which is ready. So as soon as we have initialized the label, we say what node it is. So get node and then label 2. Oh yeah, we wanted to look at why this is root signal manager, and we'll look at that just as soon as I finish this. So even in main we need access to the label, so we need a label, then label is equal to get node label. So get node has to be of the type, and then the path will be label 2. It's because it's directly under the root, so that's why it's path 2. It's the path is so. Now here what we want to do is label dot text is equal to count dot to string. Okay, and then we remove the print signal. So now as soon as we receive the message, it will update the text. Okay. Let's update the same text here. When you receive the message, the text of the label will be signal received from main. So this count is this count, okay? And this is actually coming from here. Okay, so we have all this set up now. We just have to implement the timer. Apart from that, we have everything. So let's check it out. Let's see, hopefully it works now. There's some error. I missed a semicolon. I've been coding too much in gdscript and Python. Why did I not? Yeah. Okay. Label could not be found. It's a type, not an instance. That's why label L has to be capitalized. Okay. Hopefully this will work now. Yep. Builds fine. Let's check it out. If I press main, oh yes, signal received from main, and then from receiver, and it's increasing the count. Let's add one more, and then the last one, 10. So all we have to do is add a timer here to the receiver so that it removes this message. Okay, so we go to receiver, and then we add, oh, one thing we wanted to see was why the singleton, why when we do, what is the path, what does this path mean? Okay, why is it root signal manager and not root singleton signal manager? So when you go to remote, you can see that under root we have signal manager, and that's the reason why. So under root we have signal manager, that's why we are giving it the path root signal manager. Okay, so this happens during execution, and that's why it was available to all the other nodes, because it was one of the first nodes to be created. Okay, so first thing we have to do is add a timer to a receiver, add child node timer, and it's pretty much the same process. It will be a wait time of 1. Let's make it 2 so we can see a little bit, and then we can add a timer. We have to get the node. Timer will be equal to get node timer, and from path, because it is the first, because it is directly under the receiver node, it will just be the first path. And when you receive the signal, the timer will start, and when it times out, let me copy this. When that times out, public void timeout, then our text message will become blank, and at this point the timeout means the timer is over. So or semicolon, I saw that. So then you have to start the timer again. Actually no, timer will start when it receives a signal, then times out. So that should be fine. Okay, let's try it out. Building failed because timer could not be found. Yeah, problem in the code. I think my Visual Studio is not connected properly to Godot, so I'm not able to get the debug help. We'll fix that later. Okay. Timer does not contain a definition for start. Yes, it should be capital. Let's stop, build successfully, and then run. Okay, from main, signal received from main. Oh yes, it worked. And then from receiver 11, and it's also actually printing out. I didn't remove the print. Alright, so we saw the same program in gdscript and C#, and hopefully now it's easy to understand how to do these things. Okay, thank you.